All right, so if you listen to Democrats now, there's a different all over the map positions on what to do about a shutdown and about the debt ceiling. It's almost certain that Democratic votes are going to be required there. We mentioned earlier the Republican on Republican conflict, House and Senate, although it's not just broken down by House and Senate, over what to do about reconciliation, one versus two, big, beautiful bills. Historically, Democrats have not wanted to do anything but paint the Republican Party as the party of shutdown, the party of irresponsibility on the debt ceiling. And yet now some Democrats are saying maybe this is our opportunity. Maybe it is the need that Republicans have for our votes on debt ceiling and a continuing resolution or a budget that gives Democrats a chance to get back in the game. So, Dan, if you were sitting in those strategy meetings, do you see opportunity there, or is that a mirage?
So I see opportunity, but not for the reason that some are championing this shutdown. To me, it rings of like Ted Cruz saying, shut it down over ACA. This is our chance to gut it when you had no chance to gut it, right? It just fired up the base. And so saying we're going to shut the government down to reinstitute all this spending, rehire all these employees is just crazy. It's not going to happen. Trump is not going to sign a bill like that. The Senate is not going to pass or the House, a bill like that. To me, where there are opportunities are two things. One is substance. Two, and this is big for the party, our values. What are we for? Why are we for it? And who does it benefit? We have to stop fighting, as we just talked about, every issue as a five-alarm fire, the status quo. Like, this is a chance to kind of move forward because they will need our votes. I think the second part of it is there is a lot of grumbling in Washington about both Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. Hakeem, that he's kind of too nice. He's not really strong enough. Some, sympathy that it's a more unruly place because it's the House. Schumer, that he's too old, that he just kind of, his tactics and strategies were great, 15 years ago, but he doesn't get the modern game. He doesn't really understand how to confront Trump. So both for those two, but also for anyone who's thinking of going for the king one day, this is your chance to step forward and try to lead the party where they might be a little more hesitant. And, I think there are some logical places for the party to start saying, we are on your side, right? Egg prices are, I just read today, they're the highest they've ever been. That does not seem to be coming down. What are things that we could fight for during these shutdown and debt ceiling for the economy to benefit you? When he blows out or overrules the Foreign Corruption Act, is that a value? Like, make Republicans defend some of this crazy. Try to get riders in this stuff that would say, no, the Foreign Bribery Act, we're overruling the executive order, and make them say, no, we're good with bribery. Or the ethics departments are all being removed and people fired. So both values and substance, that we are for you, why we're for this.
Sean.
So I agree with Dan to some extent that I would say find your policy issue that affects people on a real level. To be honest with you, the foreign service, if you're explaining, you have to explain what it is, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
So don't pick something that is sort of just very, that no one has ever heard of before. If you can pick a program and say, these education programs are under assault, thousands of kids get free lunches and that's a simple sell. Yeah. So I think that if I were them, I would pick my fight on some kind of budget issue. Conversely, if I was Trump and Johnson, I said this before, pick off your 5, 6, 7 Democrats, and you might only get 2, but who cares? But pick them off and say, what is it that we could do in a bill, in a reconciliation bill, in a debt ceiling bill that would be important to you? And 1 or 2 people are always easy to there's something that somebody really wants, or a compromise that they can make, or they work in a district, they have a district that will benefit them for. So my thing to the Trump folks is go through those districts that are +1, +2, and find 1 or 2 people that will play ball with you. Get them into the fold now, quote, make it bipartisan, which is a much better sell by picking off onesies or twosies. But they the debt ceiling vote and these 2 other things are going to be, this is that Rubik's Cube. How do you figure out, move one color without screwing the other one over? That you've got Jody Arrington, the chair of the budget committee, Chip Roy, who want a higher debt number, I mean, a spending reduction number to get the debt down. And a lot of these other guys didn't want spending, or you heard Mike Lawler on the program the other day that really needs those adjustments in the state and local tax, what they call SALT. So I think that they've got to figure out some way to get what they don't need 10, they need 3, maybe 2 Democrats on board, and they can easily be, you find 1 or 2 issues that they really care about and get them on board sooner rather than later.
You know, one other thing I would just add, if I were the Democratic Party, and I've said this a couple of times recently, I would enter this fight proposing some cuts that go at Republicans to their priorities, to their, pork, whether it's in the DOD, the Agriculture Department. I mean, there's enough staffers that run around Capitol Hill who wrote these bills. They know Republican pain points. I would proactively shove it to the table, put it to Elon, because you can't just be all for the spending. You're gonna have to try to make Republicans squirm and say, oh, no, that pork, that, DOD program that's like the party in Honolulu that cost $1 million with all the alcohol, like, we need to cut it.